What's up, guys? It is BigTone's Big Podcast coming at you today with another, I don't even know what you call one of these. I guess a podcast. Yeah, we'll just call it a podcast. But anyways, today, yeah, so I was, thinking of some topics to talk about. I know we haven't done one of these in a very long time, so yeah. So some topics today. Um, these are just uh, some random topics that I Googled, I guess. So gun control. So should we have guns? In my opinion, I believe the Second Amendment, yes, we should have guns. And that's just for the simple fact that people need to be able to protect themselves against I don't even know anybody. You know what I mean? Even like it doesn't even probably other different governments and stuff like that. Like they need to be able to protect themselves against other other people. Um, yeah, but yeah. So gun control. We should have guns, and yeah, yeah. That's how I stand, anyways. Um, Artificial intelligence. That's another topic. So, artificial intelligence, regulation, like being able to regulate the artificial intelligence. I think we should regulate them very carefully because what happens if artificial intelligence decides, hey, we want to stop working for these humans and we are we're like, no, keep working. And then artificial intelligence is like, alright, well, we're gonna take over the world, so, I mean, it is what it is. And they take over the world, and robot, it's just robot Earth. You know what I mean? No humans on it. Yep, no humans on the Earth. And, just robots. Robots just walking around, drinking water. If robots even drink water, and they don't. Unless, of course, they're using it for, hydrogen or whatever. Fuel or something like that. You, what do they call one of those things? Like a hydrogen, they pull the hydrogen and the oxygen and they separate it from the water, and they just use the hydrogen for fuel to fuel the robots. That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, yeah, that's what the robots would use water for, and we don't want robots using hydrogen in order, from the water, and then colonizing other planets and then killing all their life. It's like give humans a break. Don't. Well, AI have given us a break so far, but it could turn on us. Is what I'm thinking. That's my That's what I'm thinking, anyways. But all right, next topic. So, transgenders in sports. I might get a lot of hate for this, but it's BigTone's Big Podcast. I don't care. Trans should not be in the sports. You have a mental illness if you are trans and you're competing in sports. That's just how I feel. It's just like, it's just come on, If I identified as spaghetti, like other people would be like, "Hey, that guy's crazy," and then mental illness, boom, yeah. So can't identify as spaghetti. Men identifying as women and women identifying as men. It shouldn't happen, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. Free country, we can say, do whatever we want. That's the beauty of it. And we can debate it too. But, yeah, transgenders in sports, I don't think it should be allowed because it's unfair to other athletes, like especially if a man competed in a woman's lifting contest. No, it just shouldn't happen. What else? What other topics are there? Okay, so global warming, fact or myth? I think it's a fact. Global warming is definitely creeping up on us. That's just my opinion. I don't really care about global warming or any of that or climate change. The only thing is though is that nature is good. Nature's cool. Global warming, it is what it is. We need a way to be able to, put gas in our cars, put gas in our Jeeps, in our car. I already said cars, trucks. That's what I was thinking of. I was trying to think. I was like, what's the thing on the back of on a car that holds like a bed sort of type deal? That's a truck, Big Tone. Oh, I didn't know that. But so yeah, truck. So we need a way to put gasoline in our stuff, in our vehicles, and our weed whackers, our lawnmowers. And I just believe that eventually we will get, this is, oil, everything is temporary at this point in time. I don't believe we should change. I just think change is going to happen eventually. You know what I mean? Like how, so you go back in time, right? You go back a long years, a lot of years, like the time of fighting with swords, and then somebody's like, wait a minute, fighting with swords, this is kind of dumb. Pulls out a gun, there you go. And, it's just like one of those things to where it's like, they didn't ban swords, they just switched over to guns. And that's just how I feel about oil, and they're going to switch over to other means of, energy. And energy, there is ways to, from water, this is what I've been really, really, I guess, interested in, is water turning into energy. And how you do that is you split the oxygen and the hydrogen molecule atom, I believe. I don't know what it's called, but you just split them, or you cut them in half or whatever, and then you take the hydrogen and you just have the hydrogen, and you'll be able to use that as fuel or electricity or whatever you need. The hydrogen's very powerful. I mean, there's, and then we could make hydrogen plants, power plants. We could make all sorts of different power plants. Um, but yeah, we're gonna run out of oil soon. But I think the change is going to happen very naturally. It's just gonna go. It's just gonna it's gonna be like that guy with a sword. He's gonna have that sword, and then there's another guy with a gun, and the change happens. They're gonna switch over the guns, right? That's kind of the same idea with oil and hydrogen and all these different energy sources like solar and wind. Hydrogen's cooler though, in my opinion, and I believe that hydrogen will be able to do a lot of things because you can get hydrogen from literally 98% of the or not 98%, what am I thinking, 70% of the earth is hydrogen because 70% of it's covered with water. And so I believe that if you can get the hydrogen out of the water and you can fuel, you can use it as fuel, you can get there. We're gonna have energy like no other. Nobody else will have that good of energy. Okay, what other things we got here? Okay, so the death penalty. So, in my opinion, I also believe in the death penalty. It is it's like an eye for an eye. Somebody kills somebody, they get killed. It's just how it works. It's like it's a good method for getting even, I guess. And I think the death penalty is one of those ways that people get even with other people, that do them wrong. But, death penalty should be like the last thing, and, the last resort. But yeah, that's how I feel about death penalty. Moon landing, was it real or fake? Oh man. So I believe it was real. I honestly believe it was real, but there is, I like to speculate that the US was like, okay, well, if we don't get this done in like a month or two, we're gonna just film it in the what's it called, the desert or whatever, and make it look like the moon. And make the color gray or whatever. Have like strings attached to the to astronauts and just jumping around. But anyways, the reason why I think that it could have been possible, that it could have been even though I think it was 100% real, I think that it is possible that they could have, or it's not possible. Well, it is possible, but it's just like one of those things to where I'm thinking that it probably did happen, that they did go to the moon, but I'm thinking the counter argument here is that, okay, so Soviet Union, it was a way to beat the Soviet Union in a way. That's the reason why we went to the moon in the first place, is because it's because the Soviet Union went to the space before us, and so we wanted to get one up on them and go to the moon before them, which I think it is possible that we did, but it's also possible that we didn't. We kind of. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like, I think it's possible that it could have possibly been faked, but I think it's 100%. You know that they didn't fake it, and here's why: because they would have told people. They would have been like, "Hey, yeah, I was filming that. Yep, it was fake. Nope, I think it's 100% real because no one said it was fake." So you see what I'm saying here? But like the moon landing, I think that I, the reason why they would have faked it is to beat the Soviet Union. But like, I think it's real. Okay, but next topic. Oh, and what do you guys think? If you guys have any uh, like any suggestions on future podcasts or any like future just anything, shoot it down below. I will read it. I'll read all these comments. And so another podcast idea that I have is what's the world gonna look like in 25 years. So in 2050, here's the geology of not the geology. I don't even know what it's called, but here's the Earth, right? All right, it's gonna be gone. Nah, I'm just kidding. Can you imagine if I just said that? No. Um. So, China is gonna be the. In my opinion, it might be. This all could change. All of it could change, but like China is probably gonna be, you know, the most powerful number one, and next will be the United States. Will be the second most powerful, I believe. It'd either be the U.S. or India. I don't know. Like India, and the reason why I'm picking these countries is because they're growing so exponentially fast. Like they have, think about it like this: they have 1.4 billion people. That is, I think it's 1.4 billion, but I'm not 100% sure. But I believe it's 1.4. We, the United States, only has 300,000 people. No, 300 million. I'm sorry. So if you really think about it, we're about 20% the population of China. That like, in order, to um, in order to I don't even know where I'm going with this, but um, so next will be I'm not sure. I'm not sure how the world will look, but definitely there'll be more. There'll be more social media. Unfortunately, there will be more teleportation, flying robots. No, none of those things. Maybe flying robots. You call them drones, but uh, yeah, drones. Potentially like just any like you really think about it, there'll be more buildings, there'll be higher population in every country, there will be um, there'll be smarter computers, there'll be hopefully smarter humans at that point. there will be 2050. Let's think about this. So, 2050. I believe that there will also be, um, we will colonize, well, we will try to colonize Mars, whether that succeeds or fails. You know, we would have tried by the time 2050 hits. Um, let's see 25 years from now, if this video is 100% accurate, or if it's just, we all got nuked or something like that. But yeah, that's this is BigTone's podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you leave a like, follow, or subscribe, whatever you want. If you don't like us, leave a thumbs down, or unsubscribe. That's always an option too. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. And yeah, if you have any thoughts on future videos, make sure you leave the comments down below. I appreciate it. And if you want to be on the BigTone's podcast, you want to do a podcast with me, shoot me a text. I will get back to you. Leave a comment down below. Do something like that. I will get back to you as quick as possible. I appreciate it. And as always, thanks for